The battlefield was still smoldering when I found her. Twisted metal lay scattered across the ravaged valley, the remains of Illyrian war machines and Terran carriers. Smoke curled into the sky, blotting out the stars. My unit had been wiped out hours earlier, ambushed by raiders who had no loyalty to either side. I thought I was alone, the last human alive in this sector. Then I heard the faint, metallic rasp of someone trying to breathe. I followed the sound to the wreckage of an alien cruiser, half buried in the date. And there, wedged between slabs of armor plating, was her, an Illyrian warrior, trapped in a suit of crystalline battle armor that flickered with dying power. Her violet eyes widened when she saw me. Her lips moved, barely audible through the cracked helm. "Human, help me." The warrior princess. At first, I hesitated. The Illyrians were not our allies. They were proud, aloof, sometimes hostile. But leaving her to suffocate wasn't an option. I knelt beside her, examining the suit. The crystalline plates were fused, their joints locked. Her chest plate rose and fell in shallow, painful gasps. She was suffocating inside her own armor. "Can you move?" I asked. "No." Her voice was strained. The suit locked. Power failure. Pressure building. "I can't breathe." Her hand clawed weakly at the collar. The runes etched across the plates glowed faintly, pulsing faster with each ragged breath. I realized with a chill what was happening. Illyrian armor was alive in a sense, bonded to its wearer. When it malfunctioned, it didn't just fail, it trapped them. She met my gaze, desperation in her eyes. "You must remove it." I swallowed hard. To touch another's armor was considered sacred among the Illyrians, forbidden to outsiders. But without help, she would die, breaking the seal. I searched for release points, but the suit was nothing like Terran tech. Its crystalline plates seemed fused by light rather than hinges. My hands trembled as I pressed against the glowing runes, hoping instinct would guide me. The first touch burned my fingers, sending a jolt up my arm. She gasped, arching slightly. "Hurry," she whispered. I forced myself past the pain, pressing the sequence of runes. The chest plate shuddered, then cracked open with a hiss of pressurized air. Steam poured out, carrying the scent of alien metals and her own ragged breath. She slumped forward, her shoulders trembling as she dragged in deep, desperate gulps of air. For the first time, I saw her face clearly. Sharp features, luminous skin marked by faint glowing lines, and eyes like twin stars burning violet. She looked at me as though seeing me for the first time. "You saved me." A dangerous bond. Her name was Serenia Caliph, though most simply called her Kale. She wasn't just any soldier. She was a princess of Illyria, commander of the forces stationed in this sector. And now, I had broken the most sacred taboo of a people. I had touched her armor, stripped it away, seen her as no outsider ever should. "You don't understand what you've done," she said later, her voice quiet but heavy. I frowned. "I saved your life. That's all." Her eyes locked onto mine. To remove an Illyrian's armor is intimate, more binding than your human vows of marriage. You have become part of me in the eyes of my people. I froze. The words hit harder than the blast that had destroyed my unit. Married? By accident? But before I could respond, distant echoes of ships overhead broke the moment. Raiders were returning. Flight through the wreckage. We escaped into the wrecked valley together, moving through twisted corridors of broken metal. Serenia limped, weakened by the ordeal, and I found myself supporting her more than once. "Why did you stay?" I asked as we picked our way through the debris. "You could have left me there. I'm just a human." She glanced at me, her expression unreadable. "Because you saw me as more than a weapon, and because we are bound now." The raiders combed the wreckage, searching for survivors to enslave. We hid in shadows, pressed close to one another as patrols passed. I could feel her heartbeat against my chest, the warmth of her skin where the armor no longer shielded her. For hours, we moved like that, two enemies turned fugitives, relying on one another. The confession. When night fell, we found shelter in a collapsed hangar. A small fire burned between us, flickering against the crystal shards of her broken armor. Serenia sat across from me, her gaze fixed on the spear-like shard she had salvaged from her suit. "My people will never accept this," she murmured. "A human touching me, saving me. They will say I am dissonant." I frowned. "Then why not hide it? No one has to know." Her eyes flashed. "I will know. And you will. Such bonds cannot be hidden. They change us." Silence stretched between us. And then, softer, she said, "When I asked you to remove my armor, I thought I would die in shame. But when your hands freed me, I felt something else. Not shame. Relief. Trust." Her words unsettled me more than any battlefield. She wasn't just an alien princess. She was a woman who had placed her life in my hands, and I had held it carefully, not as master, not as enemy, but as equal. Betrayal and capture. We didn't get the chance to decide what it meant. At dawn, the raiders found us. A net of energy ensnared us before we could flee. Weapons ripped from our hands. We were dragged to their encampment, bound and thrown before their leader, a scarred brute with jagged cybernetics fused into his flesh. Well, he sneered. "A princess of Illyria and her pet human. The prize for you will make me richer than kings." Serenia struggled, fury blazing in her eyes. "You will regret this," she hissed. The raider laughed. "Not before I strip your secrets. Your armor, your bond." His gaze shifted to me, mocking. "And you, the human who touched her. How curious. Perhaps I should kill you now, to break this little union." He raised his blade, the power of the bond. But before it could fall, the shard of Serenia's armor, still clutched in her bound hands, flared with light. The glow spread to the bindings around us, shattering them. Energy surged through me, too, through the connection forged when I had freed her. The raider staggered back as I rose, the shard now blazing in my grip as though it recognized me as its wielder. Together, Serenia and I fought. Her movements were swift, precise, even without full armor. I struck with the shard spear, its energy cutting through raider weapons like paper. In minutes, the camp lay in ruins. Survivors fled into the desert. The leader fell beneath Serenia's strike, his blade clattering to the ground. Breathing hard, we stood side by side amid the wreckage. And for the first time, she smiled, not cold, not distant, but warm. "You fight as if the bond were always meant to be," she said. "Return to Illyria." When we finally reached Illyrian territory, the council awaited us. Murmurs spread through the chamber as Serenia spoke of what had happened, how I had saved her life, how I had removed her armor. Many frowned, whispering of Dishna, of scandal. But Serenia raised her head high. "I asked him to save me. He did. By our law, we are bound. But hear me, council. This is no Dishna. It is a new path, a bridge between Illyria and humanity." Gasps filled the hall. Some protested, others nodded. And then, to my astonishment, Serenia reached for my hand before them all. "He is not my shame. He is my choice.